Hello there, my fellow miners and crafters. Good times with Scar here, and welcome back to the making of Hermit Quest. We're here on the exterior of the castle Enchanter, and we're going to be working on adding life to builds today. Like, that's our main purpose, is creating more energy within a bland build. And I think our cave is kind of bland. I really want to add some life to it. But before we do that, let's take a look at this courtyard. Now, I'd talked a lot about making like a bustling marketplace with vendors selling their wares. But in the back of my mind, I always wanted to do houses in this area, and I was always hoping to figure out a way of doing it. But I thought it was a little bit far-fetched, and I think it'll be a little far-fetched in the end because there's just not enough room in this spot right there. Now, if we go down here, there's a little bit more room, but that's just not enough room for a nice like house that I think of for this area. If I would have thought a little longer ahead, I should have pushed the walls out a little, added an extra space, but I think a market will be really cool in here in the end. I just had hoped to add just a little bit more with the houses, like living quarters, but I think we can work on that in some of these towers. So of course, this tower right here is empty, the one in front of us, and of course this one in the back. So these are empty. These could definitely become living quarters and other things. And if you have any really cool design ideas for these particular towers, just go hashtag tower designs and help me come up with some ideas. Now for over here, you guys came up big for the design for our table. Now, using invisible armor stands with food attached to them is absolutely incredible. You left me some codes in the chat to actually do via command and block. I'm a little apprehensive about doing those, so I might grab out one of the builders from the team and see if maybe they can kind of help me with that a little later on, because I'm a little apprehensive about that. I don't want to destroy Augie's build out the window there. It looks amazing. See a little tower out there? Like, I would be super sad if all of a sudden that tower turned into like a giant like diorite pillar. Like, that would be pretty sad, wouldn't it? So we're going to avoid that. But yeah, that's going to happen. I just need to get some help with that. Over here, yes, I still need to add the other portrait over there and move the maps to this room. So creating a map room in this area I think is going to look very, very nice. But we have so much more tower room, and I need to grab some inspiration from you guys for those things. But it's time to head underground and start thinking in terms of adding life to builds. And that's what I'm excited about, because I feel like you can really take builds to the next level, really make them detailed and orient and all these beautiful things that make builds cool. But adding life to builds is so important. And what I mean by that is like little things that humans interact with. I would think of it as maybe a set decorator for, you know, a movie or a play or something, like adding little details to a table. Say it's, you know, a desk for an office, and instead of just building a desk, building an office, having a window, maybe a portrait on the wall, but really adding those elements that really make it feel like somebody lives in it. You know, they've got the papers, they got the pens, you know, things of that nature. That's what really makes things come together. You know, adding a coat on a coat rack and things that you just subconsciously be like, oh, I recognize this, I recognize that, subconsciously, and you just feel kind of at home with it, instead of like a kind of a sterile design where it's just a table and some chairs and maybe a book on a wall. You know, you see what I mean by that? Is like adding life to it, and that's what I want to accomplish today. I really like this build, and I feel like it's got the bones, but it needs life. And what we're going to do is we're going to start adding the crystals to the wall. We're going to start adding lamp posts. And of course, the whole reason we built this in the first place, a whole giant crystal in the center there with an enchanting table inside of it, kind of like an egg. Doesn't that sound incredible? Now, something you'd mentioned, guys, was hashtag exit strategies, which was a huge help going through the comments, looking through all of the things you guys suggested for exit ways. Now, I had that idea with the mine carts, but I don't think it's going to be practical, to be honest with you. So we're going to have to kind of maybe push that off to the side. But definitely you would mention flood this area full of water, put the enchanter in the center, maybe do some little stones that you have to hop on to get to it. But how to get out is the question. How do we get out of here? That's what we're going to kind of brainstorm as this episode goes on. But I'm considering this wall being potentially the exit area right there. And of course, the enchanter would be in the center right here. But I'm ready to get into this. Let me get some supplies. And if you guys are as ready as I am to do this and add some life to it, hit that like button and let's get started. I want to start our build today by starting the crystals on the ceiling. this particular stalagmite or stalactite, I always goof up which one's which. One grows from the bottom, one grows from the top. I always goof up the order of those. So this one right there is where we're going to start. And I think I'm going to consider doing this in just a simple blue. So what we're going to start with is we're going to find our point, and I think this is it right here. And we're going to start kind of pushing those downward. Now let's take this column up. This is so much easier than doing this in Wells Cave, you know, in survival, or the caves that we've done in Scarland using this technique. Yeah, I absolutely love this, and I can never get enough of these crystals. Ever since stained glass was implemented in the game long ago, and creating these beautiful little crystal cave designs, I must have made like 4 or 5 of these throughout my entire time on Minecraft, but I can't get enough of them. Like, I just think they're just so beautiful, and they go so very well with any form of enchanting items. So if you're ever thinking of like enchanting ideas or anything magical or mysterious, these are always such a wonderful option for this. So let's back up here and look at that. Okay. I see where we're going a little bit askew. So first thing I want to do is I want to find a way of potentially adding a little bit more blue to this. See these little stripes coming down here. So what if, just going to throw this out there, see if this is any worth catching. I'm going to start pulling down some of these details right here, maybe softening up that right there. And let's see, let's cut in this one right. Oh, I like that a lot. That's looking super fine. Okay, so that's looking good. So I'm gonna pull this one down and that one. See, like I said, I just want to add a little bit more blue. So what if I reversed this one and make this one come down just ever so slight? Oh, look at that, guys. That is looking really nice. See, what I wanted was, as you're coming through this door, you get a really good shot of this beautiful pillar coming down here. You know, we'll make some modifications here or there, like some of these pieces that I think would look a little bit better here and there. But the main purpose of this is to make it as if the stone is kind of like a cocoon for the crystal within, and it's poking outside of it. And I think that looks really, really nice. So if we take down, let's take our blue, and we'll kind of bring that down there like that. Look at that, very cool. And then of course we'll take out our light. Oh, I don't have it. Let's see, which one is it? Oh, it's right here. Let's grab that. And let's take this one and pull that down just ever so slight. Oh yes, that's looking very, very nice. And we'll go boom, bam. There we go. Oh, what's this? I got a little spoiled. Got a little spoiled by these really cool ways that the stained glass does not attach to the actual crystal, so there's a spacing in between. But doing this, it attaches to the vanilla block. I think it's going to be okay. We can keep things mixed up and nice, so I think that's okay. Yes, that's looking excellent. So let's swoop around the back and see how this is coming out. So we can definitely put a little blue back there. Okay, that's good. Let's go with a little bit light gray. Now, it's always a choice between like light gray and doing this with actual, white. Now, white has a big pop. And what I mean by that is these particular pieces of light gray crystal. Now, if we were to do white, sometimes it's a little much. So I always kind of tend to go with the lighter gray, just to it's a little softer. So let's put an additional one. Oh no, let's cut that piece out. There we go. I love that. Now we just need to make like 90 more of these. We just need to take a whole bunch more. So if we take maybe like this one right here, and there's some more hidden back here and there. If we do those in purple and green, I think this will come out really nice. And it's just one step closer to really adding a whole bunch more life to this. So my friends, why don't you hit super fast build mode and let's get crazy with crystals. End of super fast build mode, and I think we've got something very, very beautiful. And look at these incredible crystals shining on the ceiling, poking out of the stone, looking ever so beautiful. And I love the ability to really take these to the next level using the crystal blocks, which we don't have in survival. So this is really amazing. Look at how these have those little points that stick down. Now I've been deciding to take some of the white here and replacing some of the gray because it adds a bit of a little highlight and it really helps pop. So look at the difference between, here's one right here. Look at the difference right here. And then look at this. Watch how I take these away. Look at the improvement in the quality of the crystal. Just absolutely amazing. And I'm thinking actually leaving a couple of the lighter gray ones really enhance it because it looks like the light's shining on these ones, where back here, not so much. So I think that came out really cool. So let's talk about the density of them. In some areas like right here, I think we can increase the density of them, but over here we can maybe thin it out ever so slight because it's a little thick right here. So I'm thinking about one of these that needs to go. Maybe this one in the center might be the best one because I like having the green because it adds a little contrast. So that might be good. Now I think if we remove this one, it'll help not repeat the color so much. So looking within the crystals is a bit of a challenge because I'd love to do like a yellow or orange or a red, but I don't know. Once I get them up into the ceiling, I just kind of go, I don't know about that, but let's kind of hold off on the crystals for a minute and start working on a lamppost design. So I want to create little lampposts going all the way down. Now, my only concern with this is, do I do it on the inner of the staircase? So like right here. So actually this would be on the outside. So on the outside or the inner of the staircase over here. So if we were to do that, we would put them all the way along here and down to the enchanter, or we could do it on the back wall. That's a good question. I'm not 100% sure. But what we do need to do is just settle on a design because I've been going back and forth on a design and I can't decide. So if you remember this, when we were hanging out with Rendog, I made a goofy like lamp because he was trying to come up with lamp designs for the pathways that go all the way through the world. And I was trying to remember, like, how did we make that design? Because we tried all those funny ones. There was that great cartoon on Twitter of the diorite lamp. And I'm just trying to remember how it all went because it was really cool looking. It's just, I don't remember the exact design. I took a screenshot to remember for later. But yeah, I don't quite remember, but I'm really liking that design. Like just straight off the bat, first one we tried, like I'm already loving that. Now, I do wish this was a little bit thicker and potentially a smooth stone, not a cobblestone, but I'm loving it. Now, as you can see, I am using white in the center. Now, reason being is I don't want to distract too much. If we were to do purple or green, it would be very like right in your face. But whereas that, it's kind of clean. On the other hand, maybe if we got a little wild with me, so bear with me here, we're gonna get a little wild with Scar. This is Wild Times with Scar. Bam, a little yellow on there. We would remove the blue, of course, but you know, yellow being a little bit more synonymous with, you know, lighting. So I don't know. I think Wild Times with Scar is gonna go away for now. So we put that back down there, but I'm kind of loving that. Now, like I said before, I'm not 100% sure if I want to do this on the inner of the staircase or the outer. But either way, having these lights across here, I think are going to be really, really awesome to have. And it's like we talked about at the beginning of the episode is we're trying to add more life to the build. And it's so important to add life like this to a build and really try to make it feel like there's a lot going on within this space and trying to avoid not like involving myself in this crystal right here and trying to find all the best spots. I'm not 100% sold on any of the locations for any of these lights. I just want to get them down. I just want to get them down, see what they look like. See, that's the general pattern. Maybe if we can get maybe another one in between these two to kind of frame this loop around, having them on the outside of the path, I think could help with that. But yeah, I think that's a good design. So let me start bringing these all the way down and I got to start brainstorming the giant crystal in the center. And there we go. We have our lampposts installed and ready to go. Now, of course, I did it on the outer rim of the walkway. So what are your thoughts? The inner or the outer? So did I make the right decision on this? I think I did, but you'll definitely have to let me know. But let's move on now. And hello there, little slime friend. What we're going to start working on now is adding water. So what we're going to do is all the smooth stone here, we're going to swap that out and create a little river. And then we'll do the giant crystal in the center, which I'm trying to think about what color this is going to be. Are we going to do it the same as we did up at the top here with the purples and the blues and the greens? Or is there another color that we can use for the actual crystal that the enchanter is like built into? Do we do an orange, maybe a red? I don't know. It's kind of a tough choice. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But like I said, Let's swap this stone out with water. There we go. We have our inner pool down below. And as you can see, that post sticking up, that is going to be kind of a representation about the height of the crystal. And then below that, that's where the enchanter, the bookcases is. So we're building out this almost like egg-shaped design, and that maintains the enchanter, the bookcases, and all of those things within it. So I think that'll be pretty cool. By the way, we got Bob the Creeper and Building Inspector taking a look at the crystals, making sure everything's up to code. Now, he's making sure the crystals aren't going to come off the ceiling and crush any players as they play through this area. We make sure things are all up to code around here. And I assured Bob, I did, but you know, he's the way he is. But we also have the slime over here. That's the happiest slime I've ever seen in the world. He loves his pool. So let's get busy here. So we've got this post going all the way along here. And what I've been thinking about is doing the actual crystal in maybe a blue. I'm really partial to the blue, but you know, if you guys think maybe a yellow, a red, even an orange would look good, you know how to let me know. Let me know in the comments. We'll talk about color in just a little bit later, but let's kind of get the basics done. This is just a little bit high, right? It's just a little higher than maybe I was thinking that I wanted it. So I'm going to kind of hold it at that point. And then on the sides, I think I'm going to do it in maybe a nice cyan like that. See how the blue is almost acting as an accent. Now, another really cool thing I found out to do with these is to place them on the corners. Look at that. See how it kind of really comes out nice along there. So if we say we swap it back, oh my gosh, doing this on the corners is so much better than attaching it. Oh, that's so good. I love it. Haha, there we go. That's what I love about, you know, just coming upon surprise designs. That's what I call it, surprise designs. And, you know, when you didn't intend for something, but you see it just kind of just out of nowhere and you're like, oh, why did I think of that before? That's amazing. Yes, that is a crystal and it is starting to look really cool. My only concern is it's a little too high. But we can totally work on that a little bit later. But yeah, start bringing down just a little bit of white here, a little light gray, just to give it a little bit of a highlight. Highlights are super important. And when I was a painter, I overdid the highlights a little bit, but they're super important to get these little details down. And I just don't want it to be too thick. I think that's kind of what I'm trying to avoid at the moment. So let me know if I get a little too crazy. You let me know, because I don't want to get too crazy with this crystal, but I'm feeling it, right? Like I'm feeling this crystal. It's looking decent. So I think this is a really good shape. Now, of course, I want to do on all the sides like that. And then let's grab out this and just see where it's going to kind of take us. I might move this down one block, but we'll see. And if we jump over here real quick and look for it, where is it? There you are. You're hiding from me. No, come back here. I need you. There we go. All right. And then we're going to take these along. Oh, yes, that's good. That is absolutely beautiful. Oh, I'm loving it. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to start making this little kind of like cocoon shape. So I'm going to start building out the stone a little bit. Now, this is going to take a second. All right, so this is going to take a second. So let me kind of work on this a little bit in silence and just let the Minecraft inspiration flow here. And I'll meet you back in just a second and see if what in the world? Excuse me, Mr. Slime, I'm working over here. You can't be pushing a man at work here. That's very rude. Anyway, I'm going to keep working on this and I'll be right back. The great vision of this entire project is finally coming to be, which I cannot be any happier about. Look at our little base structure setup. We have the giant magical crystal. Down here, we're going to start building our enchanting stuff. But the color of the crystal, I'm still not 100% sold. So if you have any ideas on a better color combination, go hashtag crystal color and come up with a combination that you think would look cool. Like, I'm totally open to whatever you decide. You know, if you want to do red and orange and things like that, go right ahead. Now, I'm always a little bit partial to the blues and the turquoise, but then I'm thinking like purple is such a magical color. You know, it's like a color of royalty. You see a lot of magical things in those colors. So I'm just not 100% sure. Like, I was thinking about going dark blue. I mean, we could try out a bunch of things. So I think for now, this is looking good for now. So why don't we move on here? And this little guy really wants to head into the crystal and get started here. So I think I'm going to move this down one more block. So we're going to go down just a little bit deeper. And hello, why were you there? Why was that there? So my thoughts are that we're going to have this dug down just a little bit. And the reason is I'm really trying to avoid having the bookcases show up at all. Like, I just don't want them to be here. But unfortunately, they have to be according to everything I've tried to find. If we could like set the enchanting table to a specific number, like I just couldn't find anything. So unfortunately, that's just the way it's going to be. So we've got that kind of set up. And what we're going to do now is we're going to cover it up. Look at that. No more. Goodbye. Have a great time, bookcases. There we go. Anyway, let's start kind of covering these up a little bit. We'll get some stone in here now. I'm not going to do a ton of that at the moment because what I want to do is kind of sneak down here and I want to create some way of easily getting up. Now, I'm not doing this in any particular stone choice. So if you notice that I'm not using any like particular smooth stone variants. Oh, hello. Nope, get out of here. Don't want you water. So that's the reason, because I want this to be as natural as possible. So this was just, you know, carved away by the people who live here. So they've kind of got some little steps and things along those lines going up here. So I'm really, really happy about that. So why don't I drop down an extra little slab right there? Oh my, this is looking really awesome. This is what I envisioned. I just really, really hope you guys have liked this so far and like this particular thing we're doing today. Because I really hope this is coming out the way we've all kind of thought this would in the end. And I think this is good. This is really good. All right, so put those along there. And like I said, and I say this in almost all Minecraft episodes, I really do. That when you have a vision for something and you see it come true, like there's nothing better in Minecraft to see that idea, that crazy idea that you had for a build come to be. Like, tell me there isn't a better feeling in Minecraft when you see that. I just really hope this comes out in the end. Like, I think the vision's coming out, but like I said, until you guys see it and it's all done, like I have no idea. I have no idea, but there we go. Oh, that is perfect, especially covering the tops up. And I think we could even do weighted pressure plates, things like that to really make this look a little bit better. But I just want to get the basic done. So why don't we remove those for a minute? And I want to incorporate these back into the build in some way. So potentially this sector around here. So we remove that and have that done right there. So this is like, I don't know. I'm trying to envision it a little bit more. So if these crystals come down, let's do this together for a moment. So if this comes down here, maybe a little bit more. Yes, that's perfect. Okay. And then right here, what if we brought these in line? Oh, that's good. That's good. What if we actually did this all the way around here like that? And just get an idea what that looks like. Oh, that's nice. And if maybe we did the blues, maybe in the sides here, like it's, you know, this is like right inside the crystal. Oh, that could be cool. I think it needs a little bit more work, you know, just kind of moving the blocks about. I'm just not 100% satisfied, but I think there's potential here. Potentially swapping out maybe the white with the blue and then doing the white on the edges so it would more mimic the outside. Maybe mix in a little bit of blue on the sides. I think that could be it. That could be it. That's a better combination. If we choose to do this at all, like this actually looks better than what we had originally. Yes, that looks, 100 times more in line with the design that we got. Okay. Oh my gosh, I love that. So what I need to do now is kind of clean this all up. So add some more of these guys all around the edges. I am incredibly excited to show you the final product of our enchanting cave chamber, whatever we decide to call it. Now, you might be asking, Scott, what about lower tier enchantments? So, say you want to get some of the lower ones. Now, we're going to place those enchanters elsewhere inside of the castle. So if you want those big old level 30 enchants, you've got to come down here. If we decide we can also put those lower tier enchantment tables in and around this area also, but I think it might be kind of fun to explore around the castle and try to find those lower ones, but you always know where the big ones are, and they're down here. So let's go through the archway. And I also added these cool enchanted armor suits inside crystal back here. And of course we have some crafting or enchanting tables with their books opening as you get close. I think that looks really cool. Slight tease, because of what's to come. And going through here, it is just like, wow, look at the crystals, look at the colors shining. Now, like I said, the amount of crystals might be taken down just a little bit. I got a little excited because I thought they looked cool. So we might bring them down ever so slight, but we've got all these cool little lights, the crystals. And of course, this is just like, wow, look at that. Now, originally I was going to do a quick time lapse and do crystals all the way around the edge of the walkway, but I just like that dark ring that we have down there. It really kind of makes it so it's almost like a vignette around where you need to go. And that's kind of the thing we've thought about a little bit in this entire build was, this is temporary. This is just so I can pick blocks. We'll get rid of that. But this whole thing is like areas of encouraging players to do certain things, like The farther you go down, the more you're getting closer to the enchantment table. When you go up, you're going away from it and you're getting out of the area. Of course, the darker ring kind of like highlights where you need to go. So just little subtle things like that to kind of, manipulate the movement of players. And of course, here is one of our light designs looking super fancy, but here it is. You jump down this is 2 blocks wide, so you can't get back up there. Now there's going to be mobs because it's very dark in this area, so that's an extra little bit of a challenge. And then you work your way in here, and as you can see, I added some more crystals, and I think that came out really, really sweet. Now the reason I did this was I feel like the people who live here have kind of like chiseled away at the crystal and then put their enchanting table and their books here in the center, so it looks as if it's been broken away and made room for the enchanting table. So I think that came out really, really cool. Now down here, like I said, I might actually just take stained glass and do a few crystals in this area that don't emulate light. So I think that would be pretty cool. Color-wise for the giant crystal, like I'm going back and forth between green and purple. And like I said, I need you guys to help me with that design, because if you have like some color combinations, like help me with that. Like shoot me a picture on Twitter if you want to, build one for yourself and send it to me, or just put it in the chat. But yeah, I think this is coming out really cool. This back wall, I'm really considering doing some type of mine shaft going back in there. I think that would be really, really nice. But I think this area could be a really cool PvP arena. Potentially 2 teams meet each other in the area and just go to battle. I think it could come out really, really cool. But guys, thank you so much for watching today. I'm really proud of this, and I really hope you liked it. And yeah, so if you blew the video deserved a rating, that would be much appreciated. And until next time, this has been Good Times with Scar, and we'll see you next time.